Hi everyone, and my name is Joan Anuoluwa, and I'm the founder of Lifesaver Intervention Initiative, and I'm going to be coaching you through this leadership bootcamp. First of all, I want you to know that this is an unusual but impactful leadership program. Some of the people who have finished this course have given us amazing feedback, and I'm hoping that you will be committed to the very end. There are just 4 classes, and I hope that you'd actually apply everything that we're going to be doing. So in the course of this Leading for a Change bootcamp, we need you to actually get yourself an hardcover notebook and a pen. And why would we need this? This is because you will be doing a lot of self-evaluation. And I'm going to say something about that self-evaluation. There's something called propane glycol. Propane glycol, yes. So it's an ingredient that manufacturers add in creams. So when you rub it on your skin, what it does is that it helps your skin to absorb the ingredients in the cream so that you can maximize the money you paid. So imagine buying a cream that has all manner of ingredients and it has no propane glycol. It means that your skin will not be able to absorb the nutrients in that cream, and so you might not get the best of your money. So when a cream has propane glycol, your skin absorbs the ingredients more. So having that notepad and that biro, yeah, and that pen rather, and carrying the self-evaluation exercises is like you having propane glycol in your cream. You will be able to make the most of this bootcamp if you are able to carry out every self-evaluation that is going to be done in the course of this class. And it's very, very short. And you don't have to show me what you write. It is left for just you to see. So please make sure that you have your hardcover notes and you have your pen with you. So very quickly, we're going to be starting LFAC 101. It is called Understanding You. Understanding You. The first thing is the law of human valuation. And that is that every human being carries potential value. No one is useless. So the first thing I would like to debunk here is that you are not useless. I don't know what you've heard. I don't know what people have told you. I don't know what your scores are in school, or maybe you've tried to do something and it looks like, oh, you're not the best, you're not taking the first position, people are not even acknowledging what you've done. It looks like you're behind in quotes. Well, that may have been your experience, but I still want you to know that there is value in you. There is something valuable in you that can make the world a better place. No one is useless. No single person is useless, including the ordinary people you see on the street today, and it looks like there's nothing to their life. There is something about them that if they had the right nurturing, there's something about them that would have really been great. What was missing in their life, or what is missing in their life, is the right nurturing. You see? So you need to have an understanding of that. This is going to be the bedrock of every other thing that we're going to be doing here. A reminder that you are not useless, and every human being you come in contact with is not useless. Every human being you come in contact with has a potential to do something positive in your life as much as they may do something negative. So every human being in your life has a potential value to offer. So this is the very first thing. So I want to ask you, what is your human valuation? In other words, have you been able to identify what value you can bring to the world? So what is good about you? What is it that, okay, when you find yourself in this thing, nobody can tell you you cannot do it. You're confident about yourself. You know you can do this thing. You know that you can give your best to it. And when you're doing it, you're just at your best at it. You need to know what that thing is. You need to know that thing that you enjoy doing, that thing that brings you joy when you also do it for other people. That is showing your human valuation. So get that notepad or that hardcover right now and ask yourself, what is my human valuation? So perhaps you're listening to me right now and you don't even know what the answer is. You don't know what it is that makes you different. You don't know what it is that, brings you joy and lights up the space around you. You may not even know what it is, but write it down. Eventually, you're going to get an answer to it. So the second thing is the law of nature. Remember I talked about the fact that you might see some persons on the street, and you're like, wow, what will this person's life amount to? Well, I'm going to debunk that shortly. Now, there's such a thing as the law of nature and arrows, that is, factors of socialization. And this law of nurture, the law of nurture and arrows refer to how the factors of socialization informs what or who we have become, and to a large extent, it determines how far we can go in life. Now, if you know an archer, when they want to shoot an arrow, they actually pull it back and then they shoot it. And so that arrow goes far. Now, the Bible talks about children being arrows in God's quiver. So a parent has these children, and these parents have a role like an archer to shoot these children to go far in life. Unfortunately, some persons were not born in the right circumstances. You can imagine a child that was born in the ghetto who grew up seeing people smoking, stealing, suffering, living in poverty and all. That kind of a thing is going to affect how that child is being nurtured. For example, that child is not going to feed well, that child may not get access to quality education, that child will not be mentored properly. The value system of that child is going to be poor compared to a child who is raised in a functional home where both father and mother are available, to train that child, to correct that child when that child misbehaves, to love that child and to care for that child, to go out, on dates, to have fun with their children and all, to go on vacation and all, to get them a very good education, to grant them exposure, go on vacation, stuff like that. Now, the outcomes of these two children cannot be the same simply because of the law of nature. The law of nurture. Yeah, the law of nurture. Please take note that I'm talking about the law of nurture. And I wrote here, I said, I'm reading from my phone as well. People with the right nurturing have a tendency to go far and be more successful. Those who had a wrong nurturing but switched to a right nurturing can reprogram their minds to make it in life and even exceed those with the right nurturing from the onset. So it may take an extra level of diligence, persistence, and commitment, but it is possible. So this is telling us that it is possible that, okay, a person was not born, under the right circumstances, like I rightly painted, but that does not mean that that person's outcome cannot turn out well. So if that person, for example, finds themselves in a non-profit program where they, get them into school and then they meet other people and then they get exposed to the right things, maybe they go to church or they attend free programs like this one, that can nurture them and reprogram how they think. And so they can now turn out to become valuable members of the society. So I'm sending this out to anyone who perhaps feel like, oh, I was not raised in the normal circumstance. I was not nurtured in a proper family. I want you to know that even though that is, you can still make the most of your life when you begin to expose yourself to the right things that will now nurture you into the right person you should become. So one of the ways you can do that is to begin to read the right books, begin to follow the right people on social media, begin to listen to the right podcast, watch the right YouTube videos, attend the right church, These things are very vital. It can make your past seem like it never existed. So it is possible that you are born in a disadvantaged situation or environment, but it is also possible that that disadvantage will not hold you back from becoming all that you could ever be. Yes. So I want to ask you, what is your nurture? So write that down. What is your nurture? What is your nurture? What can you identify that was of advantage to how you were born and how you were raised? And what can you identify as things that were probably a disadvantage? Maybe you had parents who did not believe in you, or they were always comparing you with your siblings. Maybe you're the firstborn and maybe your younger one is doing well in class, or maybe you're even the second born and it is the first one that is doing well and you don't seem to be doing well, or maybe your parents wanted you to study science, or you're more disposed to art, and so they didn't like that, you know, just stuff like that. I don't know what your situation or circumstance might be, but just pick that book, write it down. What is your nurture? What were the things that played to your advantage? What were the things that did not play to your advantage? So we've spoken about two things here. The first thing is that you have value. There is something in you that can make the world a better place. Some of you might have looked at people and you're like, see these people, they are just living the life. Sometimes you go on social media and you're like, am I the only one who feels left out? Why is it that everything seems to be working for these other people? Why are they so happy? Why are this set of people always in the spotlight? What is it about them? Or you just see someone that is living a relatively peaceful life and everything seems to be going on well with them. What I want you to know is that potential lies in you too. Whatever results the people you admire have now, you can have a similar result if you're willing to apply the right principles. So, and that principle leads us to the second point, which is your nurturing. So, however you may have been raised, however you may have been born, whatever circumstances you find yourself right now, you can re-nurture yourself so that you can have the same advantage that the people you currently admire have, so that you can have a similar result. So do not say, I can never make it in life, or nothing good can come out of me. No, you've made a wrong conclusion about yourself. I want you to settle down with these thoughts today. Think about it, ask yourself the questions, and find a way to answer them. And if you do not have the answer to them, leave them blank. And maybe before we finish this course, you would have been able to find an answer to those questions. So this is a project of Lifesaver Intervention Initiative, and this is our arm for raising leaders. And we have a virtual hub. You can join us. You can check out our social media page to see what we do, and you can be a part of what we do. So see you at the next class. Thank you.